Welcome to Marketing MASH, brought to you by themarketingscope.com.
Welcome to the Marketing MASH. I'm Lorena Ontiveros and this is Eric Vidal. And today we're going to talk about tracking behavior.
Yeah, and we have a tracking behavior guide that's going to go into a lot of detail, and that's posted on our blog. But let's get the conversation started.
In the lab.
Tracking behavior, what does that mean? So for me, what it means is being able to track my audience, my prospects or customers, and find out what they're doing so I can better understand them, their behavior with me and the brand, and what's working, what's not, and be able to adjust and cater better to that audience, better serve them. And as marketers, we've been doing this, and probably more than anyone inside the enterprise. And we've been doing this for a while. I go back to the days of Google Analytics and looking at your website analytics from a very rudimentary perspective.
Right.
And then even that evolved to heat mapping, or at least for people like me who are very visual and can't look at numbers.
Like me who are very visually oriented.
Yes. But so you have websites, and of course they've evolved, and then you have email marketing, which is evolved and evolved into marketing automation solution platforms, etc. And then you have things like, of course, in-person events and tracking behavior, and that's hard because you do that through surveys or just watching, and that's hard to get input there. But I have a background in webcasting and virtual events, virtual environments. So from a webcasting perspective and a virtual event, virtual environment perspective, we've come a long way, and we can track everything from attendance, what they said, surveys, quizzes, but what they did. And what I mean by that is when they went into a certain room or a webcast and they left, where did they go? What did they do? If they watched a video, how long did they watch it? And when did they leave? And so, you talk about these different things, and you talk about community as well, is a great platform to track behavior. But all of this is just in those certain silos. What I'm looking for is a layer across all platforms, all devices. I want to log in the morning and have a dashboard, and I can look at one of those vehicles, I can look at all of them, or I can look at certain segments of audiences. I want to know who my biggest fans are, who's critiquing or saying or doing things that maybe they're having challenges with the brand, and I want to be able to respond to those, because statistically, all I'm seeing is companies are responding fewer times, not as is responsive from a customer service perspective, etc. But from a marketing person, I want to know what they're doing. I want to connect with those people, not just in my community or my environment, not just over there on email. I need that platform or that layer, and so. Let me know what you're thinking out there, what you're using. I'd love to hear your examples. If you know what, this is very new frontier, I think, for marketing folks. And so if you're a vendor and you have a platform, go ahead, post it on the blog. It's not too pitchy. I want to hear about it. I'll tell you right now, I'm talking to 2 or 3 companies right now in the middle of researching and trying to figure out some ways to do this. And there are some companies that are doing stuff like this. That's the great news. This isn't completely new. And so, knock on wood, starting next year, I want to be able to have all of that in place. And so it's going to be an interesting journey, and your feedback is very interesting and very valuable to us. So looking forward to that feedback. Thank you.
Did you know?
In keeping with tracking behavior, did you know that companies that do have a presence within social media, they actually only respond to about 30% of their social media fans and followers? So a company that takes the time to have a presence in social media and possibly track behavior and things like that, they're only responding to 30% of the fans. That's a very low rate.
Yeah.
So I think a good tip would be for a small or any size of business really would be to really interact with your fans on social media. I mean, they're there. That's why you started the account. And if only 30% of companies are doing that, then that'd be a good way to separate yourself from the competition as well.
Yeah, the challenge is I think a lot of companies set this up and they don't have one person or a team of people managing it like they should. They have one person doing it part-time.
Right. Did you know there's an actual disorder for people who spend too much time on Facebook? And it's Facebook specific as
hold
well.
on. Would you have this disorder?
No, not at all. My fiance does, though, for sure. It's called FAD, and it's Facebook Addiction Disorder. It's a real thing, and approximately 350 million people suffer from it.
350 million?
Yeah,
No,
so, yep.
come on.
I think there's 6 different points that the person who may or may not have FAD, they need to fall under one of those, probably 4 out of 6 of those points. But yeah, it's a real disorder, and
I think I met 2 nights ago. I was at an Italian restaurant, and I was walking by this family of 5, and there's 3 kids, and all of them were on devices. One, the gal had a little pad, and the other 2 were on phones. 2 of them were on Facebook.
Yep.
And the small boy, he was playing a game, because I made a point of I wanted to see what they were. And the mom and dad, I thought when you go to dinners, I thought that's for family interaction
Exactly.
and get social, but anyway.
not anymore. Long down the road, I'm sure there'll be a Twitter addiction disorder. Who knows?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on Marketing Mash. We'll talk to you soon.
That's it for this episode of Marketing Mash. You can share your thoughts by following us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast to keep up with the show. And of course, you can always find us by visiting themarketingscope.com.